Hi everyone, we are here in the herb garden. It's been about a year since I've actually shown everybody what's been growing and how we've changed the herb garden in the past year. A lot is blooming right now and a lot has changed at the same time. So I wanted to take you through, walk you through, and give you a tour of how our herbal tea medicinal garden is doing. The first thing is, as you probably saw in one of our other videos, we did a wattle fence all the way around the herb garden, and it actually wraps all the way down and around the deck. So our entire herb medicinal garden has this nice wattle fence, and with that I was able to put more plants along the fence line. So I have kind of two sides to the herb garden now. Right here I have some cherry tomatoes. These are champagne bubbles. They're very sweet white mini cherry tomato, I believe. They're doing really well, along with some basil. And the sweet alyssum I started from seed, and it really is spreading beautifully, kind of like a nice little ground cover. It just really is a cute little pop of white where there's so much green. And I've been interested in some ornamental grasses this year, of course not for any medicinal or herbal tea purpose, but they are really pretty. And this is the frosted explosion ornamental grass. As you can see, it kind of looks like a firework. Really pretty. So I'd say I'm kind of playing around with different areas in here where I put in a few different ornamental grasses. So as you kind of continue to walk a little further down our little wood chip path, this is where the herbal tea garden starts that I started last year. And a lot of the perennials that I started last year returned, and they returned abundantly. So this hyssop here really spread out, dropped a lot of seed. In fact, I had to actually pull out a lot of the hyssop because it spread so much seed, it kind of took over the whole garden. But it's doing really well, and surrounding it are lots and lots of violas, the Johnny Jump Ups. Those spread by seed, and I didn't realize how much violas like to drop their seed and then just pop up everywhere. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it was a pleasant surprise, because I also found out you can use violas in skin creams and salves and lotions. Apparently it has some benefits. So I've been taking some of the flowers off of the violas, and they just keep producing more and more, and they look so pretty. It's like a sea of violas all through here. Kind of intertwines amongst all the other things that we do have growing. So, word of warning, if you put violas down, they're gonna probably come back like crazy year after year, which is fine by me. So intertwined next to the hyssop and the violas, I have lavender right here. And this is its third year, and it overwintered 2 winters here in upstate New York, Zone 5B. So it can be done. I know some people have a hard time with their lavender getting to overwinter. I don't do anything special to it. It basically just sits here, and then in the spring it comes back. So I don't know what it is, but it does well. So that lavender, I've been getting some sprigs. It's in season now. It's starting to blossom. So I'm sparingly getting some sprigs to harvest off of the lavender. And one other ornamental grass that I decided to try out this year is the bunny tail. It's really cute, and it really is like a little bunny tail. This is an annual, just like the frosted explosion, at least for our zone. So if I wanted to have this come back, I believe I'd have to replant it again next year, unless it self-sows itself and the seeds come back next year, which that would be pretty cool. But I really like that. I also put straw flowers again in here. Again, that's really no medicinal purpose or herbal tea purpose, but it's a beautiful like pop of color. And they get quite tall, so I put them in the back. You know, a nice little mix of color with the straw flowers. You know, they're really pretty. That's a really big thing that I try to keep in mind with the herbal tea garden, the medicinal garden, is while not everything is going to be used for teas or salves or, you know, drying, you know, it also has a purpose to be really pretty. So while I try to maintain a useful purpose for everything I put in here, sometimes its purpose is just to look really pretty. So, you know, we had some wicked storms come through the past couple days, so my echinacea is looking a little sad. So I'll have to come in here and give it a little support. But this is my 3rd year with the echinacea, and as you can see, I had this one like little patch, and it's spread to this now. So this year, being its 3rd year, I'm also going to harvest echinacea root, which most of you know that's super beneficial for multiple things, tea, tinctures, you know, stuff like that. So I'm new to doing root harvest. I've never done that before, so that'll be kind of cool to do. But I have been harvesting some of the flowers and the leaves, and I've been drying those and putting them up to use in tea or whatever else I may decide to do. As you come around the corner, this is tarragon, which I didn't realize how bushy tarragon can get. I believe it's Russian tarragon. I've been drying it. I don't really use it, unfortunately. I guess I have to start really experimenting with it. But I had put it in because, you know, why not? I want to play around and see what things look like and how useful they'll be. So I do have Russian tarragon, and I really need to, you know, experiment with how I want to use it, even if it's just in the kitchen. Now down over here, this is where I started putting pots, and I buried them into the wood chips along the wattle fence. I found this to be a little bit easier than putting dirt directly into the wood chips, because now I have the ability to just pick up the pot and move it if I want. Or next year, if I want to change the design, I can put them wherever I want. So I took pots that I already had. I basically buried them in the wood chip, you know, maybe all the way or partially. And it really looks nice. It makes it look like it's all part of the garden. It's all cohesive. So I have some stevia here that came back. I thought it was dead, but I had stuck the pot in the greenhouse, brought it back out in the spring, and it just came back. And then I got different types of basils. I have Chinese sweet basil, I have Thai basil, and I got cilantro here. I have a couple baby cilantro in there that I started from seed to try to get some more going. And then in here, I believe these are both cinnamon basil. And as you keep coming down, my rosemary isn't looking very good. It's been very wet, and from what I've read, rosemary does not like to be completely like drowning. So we'll see. Hopefully she pulls through. And as you would continue down, I got a couple different things here that are a little different. This, and then there's 2 more down there. These are called pumpkin on a stick. They are actually an eggplant variety, and supposedly they're going to grow these eggplants that look like little mini pumpkins hanging from a stick. And I think people dry them and then you use them for autumn decor. I couldn't say no to something that's called pumpkin on a stick. So I figured to give it a try and see what happens. They do get kind of tall, I think 4 feet tall possibly. So they each got their own fabric bag, and I put them on the outskirts, so if they do get tall, they have room to do so. And then of course we have thyme. I I have some thyme in here. All right, so now we've kind of turned the corner around the deck, and this is the opposite side of the herbal tea medicinal flower garden. So here's the other side of my echinacea, and I got a couple more bunny tail grass, but one thing I tried out this year, and I got it in a couple different places. This place might be a little too shaded, thus why it's not really at its peak performance, but this is Asian Garden Celosia or Celosia. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but these flowers I've been cutting, and they can turn your drinks pink. So you can make like a really pretty pink lemonade. I don't believe it gives off any flavor. I haven't tried it yet, but I have been harvesting some of these flowers and drying them for future use. So that was something that was really cool. And down here, this is not going to bloom this year, but this is called money plant, or I guess honesty. These are a biennial, and they will flower next year and produce some really pretty, I don't know if you'd call them flowers, but they're like these like transparent or white opaque coin looking things. I thought it sounded really cool. Again, not any sort of a medicinal purpose, but really pretty, something different. And right next to it, I have my chamomile that did come back from last year. Not as much came back. I'm guessing I might have actually harvested so much that maybe it couldn't reseed as well. So I'm gonna be more mindful of that this year. But I did get some chamomile to come back, and I have been harvesting to preserve the chamomile. And straight behind, I have more straw flowers. The color on these straw flowers they're really fantastic. And you know, I have more hyssop intertwined. I've been really pulling a lot of the hyssop out. The seeds really spread. So I do have hyssop here. And now back here, this kind of patch, this is Moldavian dragon head balm. It's got a lemon scent and a lemon flavor, very similar to that of lemon balm. However, the perk about Moldavian dragon head balm is that when you preserve it, you dry it, it can actually maintain or retain that lemon aroma and flavor better than a typical lemon balm would when being dehydrated. That's why I'm actually growing that, because I want to compare it to lemon balm and see if that's accurate. And so far, it really does. I've used it in tea after being dehydrated, and it really gives off a nice lemon flavor. Now, this looks a little shabby. Again, we had some really heavy rain, but I wish you could have seen it a couple days ago. This is honeywort, and this is a bumblebee heaven. It's kind of funny to listen to because the bumblebees go up and they love these flowers, and when they're up in there, it's just nothing but buzzing, and it like echoes off of it, it reverberates off of it, and all you hear is this bzzz, and you see the little bumblebee butt. So I don't use this for any sort of edible use or anything, but it's really pretty and the bumblebees love it. Coming on through here, I have a kind of a mix match. They're all leaning forward again because of the rain, but this back part, this is rose red soba or buckwheat. So it's pink flowering buckwheat. I've never grown buckwheat, so I'm looking forward to harvesting it, but for right now, I'm loving the beautiful pink flowers. And just in front of it is kind of this little like sea of calendula. I've been harvesting a lot of calendula, so there's not as many blossoms, but they're kind of, you can see sprinkled through. And that's the strawberry blonde calendula and the zeolite calendula. You know, really pretty, and smells great too. Now, as we kind of work our way down, it's kind of a shim-sham right now, but this is yarrow. And maybe 3 to 4 years ago, I put yarrow down here. and it loves it because the soil is basically dry and crappy. That is what yarrow likes. I don't have to do anything to it. I put it in and I leave it, and it does beautifully. Now the chickens got in here last year. That's why we put up the wattle fence. And they started spreading stuff. So now I have yarrow kind of in a couple patches, and that's fine because I actually want the yarrow to spread. I've been learning more about it. It's super beneficial, whether you want to make a salve out of it, to stop bleeding with the leaves. It's really a very useful plant. So I have it kind of in little patches right here. We keep on going down. We're almost to the end. It's a lot of California poppy. It's kind of past its prime right now, as you can tell. The funny thing is, I put down the seed last year in this one little patch, and it didn't do anything. And I was kind of bummed. And then the chickens got in here, and the chickens, they scratched and they went bananas. And I was kind of mad because I figured that was going to be the end of my California poppy. I thought I was just gone. And then this year I came, out, and you just saw it coming up everywhere. So the chickens actually did help. They spread the seed out, and now I have this bigger patch, and it's been gorgeous with these just beautiful orange yellow flowers. And that is medicinal. California poppy has many medicinal benefits as well. Now the last thing at the very end of our herb garden is bee balm. Actually, you can see the bumblebee loving up on it. I just started harvesting bee balm, and you can use that for tea, you can use them in salves. It's got multiple purposes. But as you can see, it also brings in lots of really good pollinators. And it's gorgeous too. At the front part here of the garden, I have 2 fabric bags. I got them filled with fennel. One is a bulbing fennel and one is a non-bulbing fennel. And I remember last year how much the swallowtail butterflies loved, I guess, laying their eggs or whatever nearby because the caterpillars were on them, and then all of a sudden we had all these swallowtails, and it was great. So I made sure to put that out again. And I also have some lemon basil and lemongrass here, which the geese lovingly will come and snack on. Even though I will personally pick them some and give it to them, they will then put their heads over the fence line and grab themselves their own, because that's what they do. This is more of an extension of the herbal tea medicinal garden. This is the dragonfly pond area that we created years ago in order to entice the dragonflies to come in. So in here, it's a bit more wild, which is nice. We have mint that came back. I have 2 patches. That's peppermint that came back. This is an ornamental grass that I purchased. It's a rub rum. Really pretty. It's supposed to get really bushy, so I thought it'd be nice to kind of fill things out right here. And then coming kind of down this way, I got more bunny-tail grass, and here's more of that celosia or celosia, the really pretty pink flowers. And then growing in here, I have aquatic mint that I don't really do anything with. We had bought it as an aquatic plant to go with the pond, and it literally just started spreading like any other mint. So that comes up. I got some frosted explosion grass. And then in here, I have more calendula. These all came back on their own. I didn't plant any of these in, and I love it. There's some resina calendula. It's got the really high amounts of that resin that you want, and some of the strawberry blonde calendula too. I believe this is mountain mint, which I started from seed, and there's some germander in here that I started as well. They're not too big at the moment, but from what I hear, they will get quite big. So I got some germander, some mountain mint, and of course the calendula, and the aquatic mint kind of just fills in all the way there. And lastly, these are scarlet runner beans. I have them in a fabric bag that I buried halfway, and I've been trying to train the vines to go along the wattle fence. And thankfully the geese have been pretty cool about not eating it. So I'm very happy. And I figured it would be kind of pretty to have the scarlet runner beans decorate the wattle fence. So that's at the end right here. So last but not least, this is not near the herbal garden. This is our marshmallow plant. And I planted it on the side of the greenhouse because it's very marshy over here. It's constantly wet. The marshmallow likes to have kind of damp, marshy conditions. So I started this from seed last year, and it came back, and it's hanging down a little bit again from those crazy rains, but you know, really pretty flowers. And the leaves, it's just like they're super soft. It's almost like velvet. And this year I'm actually going to harvest the root. Marshmallow root is known, the marshmallow plant is known for a lot of having medicinal qualities, but the root more so. So when I'm harvesting echinacea root, I'm also going to harvest the marshmallow root as well and dry that. But this is literally just from a couple seeds that I started last year, and it came back again. So yeah, it's definitely, if you have a marshy area or a wet area, you can try putting this in yourself. So that pretty much sums it up. That is our herbal tea medicinal garden, my little fun place. I hope maybe it inspired you a little bit to give it a try yourself and, you know, try some things that you never tried before. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.